Ardie Savea is the best rugby player in the world right now, and you can't change my mind. What he has done with Moana Pasifika this year in the Super Rugby has been nothing short of phenomenal. What other rugby player in the world right now can go to a team like Moana, who finished second last year in the Super Rugby, in their first 3 years of existence only won 7 games, and in his first year there, they are sitting on 6 wins already and could potentially go to their first ever playoffs. No one player in the world impacts a game individually like Ardie Savea does. Before we get into it, let me know in the comments what you guys think of this. Is Ardie Savea the best rugby player in the world right now? If he's not, who is? Who impacts a game the way Ardie Savea can? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. Yes, rugby is a team sport. But individually, what Ardie Savea has done this year at Moana Pasifika is nothing short of sensational. It's been phenomenal, extraordinary, and really there's not many other words to describe it. When Ardie Savea announced that he was going to Moana Pasifika, there were some pundits that weren't convinced by it, thought it would harm his All Blacks career, thought it would harm the All Blacks because stating that workload that he would have to get through at Moana Pasifika, in inverted commas, carrying them, how that would then transfer into him into international season. If anything, this move to Moana Pasifika has propelled Ardie Savea's career, especially when it comes down to being a captain or being a leader of a team. He's always led by example, whether he's wearing the captain's armband or not. But now officially being the captain of a side and leading this team, what he has led them through the big wins this year, beating teams they've never beat before, potentially leading them to their first ever playoffs in their existence ever, and definitely showing the selectors of the All Blacks that Ardie Savea can lead a team, can lead a nation. The growth in leadership, like I said, how he decides when to kick goals, or when to back themselves and go for tries. Little bits like that go unnoticed, but the selectors of any team are looking at that going, how is he playing this situation? They're behind by a couple of points. What decision is he making, and how is that impacting the end result of the game? Do they go on to win the game because they kicked the penalty, or do they back themselves, score a try, and then go on to win by a couple of points? Ardie Savea's individual performances, how he's impacted games, how he directly impacts games, and how they, off the back of that, win those games has been unreal. His ability to chip and chase from halfway and score length of the field tries. I'm talking like, what player in the world right now is doing that? In any position? Yes, there's a couple, but as a 7 flank or a 6 flank or an eighth man in the back row, what player is doing that right now? That is individually impacting games like that. Yes, someone like Henry Pollock comes to mind, but Ardie Savea is doing this week in, week out. His skills is just phenomenal. Not just the flashy stuff, but he's also making a turnover on his line at the end of a game to win games. Versus the Blues this weekend, they're deep in it, the 80th minute. Blues are on Moana's line. Ardie Savea makes a massive turnover and wins them to win them the game. His work rate is through the roof. Everything from carries to tackles to meters gained to try score to turnovers to try assists. We're going to run through some of it. This is this year till round 14 to date, right? So I think he's played 10 or 11 games. That's 5 tries, 3 try assists, 110 tackles, 13 turnovers, 128 carries, 479 meters gained, and 34 defenders beaten. Yup, that is, I'll leave that graphic up here for a minute because that is wild. He hasn't even played all the games available, but man, that is some stats. No one in the game right now is single-handedly impacting games the way Ardie Savea does. Now, yes, he's been doing these numbers for pretty much his whole career, but doing that in stronger teams. So Hurricanes have always been a dominant side within Super Rugby. All Blacks have always been a dominant side within the international scene. Now racking up these numbers in a far less dominant team is why this year at least has been so special for Ardie Savea. We are literally in sport witnessing greatness. He's then not only playing the best rugby of his career right now, but also inspiring those around him. The next generation of Pacifica players to come through, the guys around him like Miracle Failangi, Simisi, Tupo Tailua, these guys are their rugby's going to new levels as well. And it can't be talked about enough. It is understated. And if more people were talking about it, how good or how inspirational or how exceptional Ardie Savea has been this season, it's still not enough, because this guy's truly one of the best rugby players to ever do it. And right now, the best player in world rugby. All Blacks captain this year, for sure, an absolute shoe in there. It would be crazy if he isn't named captain. And he's my early pick for World Rugby Player of the Year this year, Men's Player of the Year this year. Holy, because he has been outstanding. What do you guys think of that? Let me know in the comments. If Ardie Savea is not the best rugby player in the world right now, I don't have hair on my head. And if not, who is? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.